I think the greatest love is if you can find somebody that opens your eyes and makes you a better person and inspires you to do better things with your life. And that's a great love. Somebody that doesn't just accept you as you are, but helps you.
Machiavelli's The Prince is a book many call evil because it prioritizes strategic power and self-reliance over traditional moral or idealistic virtues. Machiavelli was a 16th century Florentine diplomat who had an unquenchable lust for power. Although some see little value in this book, to me it shows a perspective on human relations that is as true to the human condition as any quote-unquote virtuous perspective is. He writes of deceit, lies, revenge, and betrayal, famously stating, "For of men it may be said generally that they are ungrateful, fickle, deceivers and dissemblers, avoiders of danger, greedy of gain." Machiavelli realized early on that the individual is sculpted by their environment, their thoughts, and everyone else who might affect them. He views this molding as utterly negative and warns of the danger of being malleable. To him, the ideal self isn't something to be discovered by a partner or a superior. It is something you must ruthlessly forge yourself to meet the demands of reality. If you allow a friend or a partner to sculpt you, you're effectively giving them the power to define your shape, making you a product of their perception rather than your own will. Machiavelli also warns in chapter 23 that the leader's greatest internal threat is the flatterer. He argues that constant belief in you can blind you to your own flaws and the harsh truths of the world. Now this has me thinking, that last part, he's completely right. Why would one want to be blind to the truth? After all, it's knowledge that sets you free. But this also had me thinking about my own life. Do I really know the self I want to be? I remember growing up wanting things and rationalizing actions that I later found out were completely irrational, while the whole time my parents were influencing me to change. Had I done exactly what I wanted, there would be no wisdom to draw from, no guidance from someone who's already been in that exact place before. And this is what Machiavelli gets wrong. The term Michelangelo effect, which was coined by the American psychologist Stephen Michael Dragotas, is defined as a situation in a relationship, friendship, or intimate partnership where each partner sees the best in each other and tries to bring that out. Partners now act as sculptors, seeing the ideal version of one another and ideally help to bring that best self to life. In this scenario, the sum of the parts is now greater than the individual is alone. For without the guidance of others, one cannot discover their true potential. In this view, there's almost a death of self, where a person's desires are molded to fit the guidance of the relationship. Ultimately, a life lived strictly by the prince is a life of safety through isolation, where you are the sole architect of a lonely being. But a life that embraces the Michelangelo effect accepts the risk of being molded in exchange for the reward of being finished. It suggests that the death of self Machiavelli so feared is actually a prerequisite for growth. That by letting go of a small, guarded version of ourselves, we allow a greater, more virtuous person to be released by the people who love us. However, one must be careful. You can't just adopt either perspective 100%. To live entirely by the Michelangelo effect leads to a complete death of self, where you become nothing more than the reflection of others' expectations, a statue with no core of its own. But to live entirely by Machiavelli leads to the complete death of connection, where you remain a raw, unworked block of stone, undisturbed, yes, but also unevolved. Basically, you need friends, family, and role models that believe in you more than you believe in you. Because as much as Machiavelli's self-reliance offers protection, it cannot offer transformation. You never realize the masterpiece that is hidden under all that ego and defense. The goal is to be brave enough to be a work in progress, to keep that Machiavellian self-reliance just long enough to ensure that the hands holding your chisel are the hands you can trust. After all, a statue that refuses the chisel never becomes more than just a rock.
We have this opportunity to make a choice. Everybody watching this right now probably has something they think maybe they'd like to do, have always wanted to do, or something they left behind that they maybe think, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make the call, or I'm going to go to that place I've never gone to, or I'm going to decide to change my life for the better right now.